What's the personality type of Emma Stone? In today's video, let's try and figure that out.
Well, we were meant to do that, and then what happened?
Oh, you don't remember?
Well, I remember, but I'd like to hear you.
Okay, so the first personality pattern I noticed watching Emma is she checks in a lot when she's speaking. Do you see how she's constantly looking over at people, paying really close attention to other people's faces, their emotional reactions?
I'm gonna act him off the screen anyway, just get him out of here. But I mean, was that intimidating, or did you find that particularly hard?
Interesting.
Your
comedic
realm.
Oh.
Like in this clip, do you see this? How she's staring, really sort of scanning the other person's face, their body language, and she has this sense, this intuition about how to adjust herself to accommodate other people's reactions or make other people feel good. Watching Emma, there were a lot of really strong, loud, obvious clues for the same personality superpower we saw with Zendaya, something called extroverted feeling. Extroverted feeling is a specific way of prioritizing things, sorting things out that really likes to think about people dynamics, social interactions, how we all emotionally and socially impact each other. Something you'll see a lot with all the FJ personality types that use extroverted feeling all the time is they're really good at understanding and managing the emotions and expectations going on around them. Doing that type of people adjusting and sorting is very intuitive for them. It actually makes them really, really happy.
I think that's why comedy was always such a joy for me, because I didn't have to think about it. And getting to make people laugh was the most rewarding feeling ever, my whole life.
The way that Emma uses her extroverted feeling, it really caught my attention because it's actually very different from the other FJ personality types that we've looked at before on this channel.
Give it to your mom? How good are you? How cool
I mean,
are you?
what am I gonna
You love
do?
your brother? You're good to your mom? Oh my God.
I am the best person
ever.
ever.
You're the best person ever,
I'm
man.
so nice.
This joking around, it's super loose and authentic, but it's still extroverted feeling. Do you see how she's using her people awareness, social intuition to make other people laugh, to synergize with other people, how she's adjusting herself to the emotions and reactions of other people around her? There's so much more to extroverted feeling than just being super polite or a rule follower all the time. It actually can be really playful, really fun, and authentic.
And I would smell menthol, and it sort of made me think that I was in like a wide open space. So I'd just smell a little bit of menthol and be in a wide open space. I hear a creaking sound, then there's a pop, and then it wakes you in the night with a screech.
The next personality pattern I noticed watching Emma is she talks about sensory stuff a lot. She has this knack for describing and acting out the experience of things, what things look like, what they sounded like.
The roof of my mouth is still so soothing to do it. It feels so good. In my body, in my mouth, newspaper, print, yeah, just like having dry hands and touching a newspaper. Or having like hangnails and like a woolly kind of blanket or sweater. That's not an irrational fear, it's just so gross to me to think about.
Do you see here how she seems to have pretty high sensory awareness? Like this awareness of the textures of things, what things feel like, the environment, or what things physically feel like or sound like, that having an effect on her? That's super interesting. I also noticed that Emma seems sort of good at visualizing things. Like when she's describing things, she seems to have this really strong awareness of what things physically looked like, how things were positioned, how things were oriented or placed. I noticed a lot of Emma's stories and jokes actually involve a lot of vividly describing the real life experience of things, what she was noticing, what it was like for her. All these clues together point to Emma being a personality type that uses something called extroverted sensing, a personality superpower that likes to explore and engage with the outside world in a sort of physical, sensory way. Personality types that use extroverted sensing all the time are really good at being in the moment, reacting to things. They're really good at paying close attention to, whoa, what is physically moving and changing around me? What things can I interact with, play with, experience in real life right now by being present, often like using their senses, their body.
Pickier and pickier as you become more and more powerful?
As I become more and more powerful.
When you have your first 4 kids, it'll be a whole other.
My first 4 kids?
Yeah.
How many am I having?
I'm putting it on
Sounds like there's more after the 4.
You don't want 8 kids?
I was looking for 36 kids.
It's funny because I think Emma's extroverted feeling and extroverted sensing work together a lot in her humor. Her extrovert feeling is really good at reading other people and understanding outside expectations, but her extrovert sensing, I think, makes her especially good at interacting in the moment, sort of like reacting and improvising. Do you see how she's really, really good at that?
You're a movie star. Oh. It took the wind out of you, didn't it?
I just have a really long cigarette in my hand all of a sudden. But an interesting...
That's your helicopter.
That's
Calling for
just
you.
my helicopter honking.
Here also, do you see how what Emma plays around with when she's reacting and improvising? It's usually, again, in that physical sensory playground. Oh, imagine if I had like a really long cigarette, or oh, that was my helicopter honking. Do you see how the funny ideas, possibilities that Emma comes up with, they're almost always connected to real life, a twist on real things that you can visualize, things that you could like sort of see in a picture or like a movie scene. I've noticed that personality types that use extroverted sensing do this a lot. It's like one of my favorite things about them. When they're joking around telling stories, there's something about the way that they describe things that's always putting funny, surprising visuals in my head. Whoa, I wasn't expecting to visualize that. Whoa, where is that idea coming from?
I confuse myself with my personality because half of me is like a total ham performer, like class clown.
Yes.
And the other half of me is like a terrified, like everything has to be perfect or else the whole world is going to fall apart.
Yeah, these two opposite sides of Emma's personality really caught my attention too. Emma is definitely really good at riffing, reacting, improvising in the moment, but at the same time, on top of all of that, she clearly has this other side of her that's a lot more anxious, that really doesn't like surprises. It's like, whoa, 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 this is too chaotic. We need to keep this a little bit more under control thing going on.
Are you gonna do something right
Have
now?
you never met a Spice
Are you
Girl?
gonna do something really?
Have you never met a Spice Girl?
Wait, hold on. I have to mentally prepare myself.
Okay. Now,
Look at Andrew.
as you know, it is very rare. It is very rare for more than one Spice Girl to appear together for any reason at all.
Yeah, I saw a lot of clues. Emma really doesn't like it if things are too chaotic, unpredictable. She really likes having an idea of where things are going, what's coming, or else she gets very thrown off, starts sort of like panicking, really stressing out.
So I thought they're full, they've got all the hand and footprints.
Right.
There
all
already.
the squares are full.
This is just a fun little celebration. And then they were like, here's your practice one. And then when you get out there for the real one that stays out there, you know, you'll know what to do. And I was like, what do you mean stays out there? I had no idea, and then I burst into tears and really humiliated myself.
The other thing I noticed is Emma has this personal intuition, this sort of like gut feeling that she mentions quite a bit, that she seems to really trust and use sometimes to make some decisions. It looks like things are supposed to go over here, like this is meant to be, like the paths are converging in this direction.
Your mom told me that you actually told her that if you didn't go to LA, you would die.
You're right.
And so
If I can feel again that gut instinct, I just felt that was meant to be and it had to happen. I don't know exactly what it is. It's just something eventually clicks and the thing makes sense. And I don't always know what that is.
Watching Emma, there are a lot of strong signals for something called introverted intuition, a special way of bringing things together and connecting the dots that really likes to think about, when I sort of look underneath the surface, if I pay attention to what's going on around me, where do I sort of get this abstract sense things are going? Personality types that use introverted intuition all the time naturally love guessing ahead, thinking ahead, trying to see what's around the corner. They naturally think about things in terms of the long-term implications of things, trajectory of things. They're always trying to get this abstract sense of like the future path of things, where things are headed.
What I would tell kids that are going through anxiety, which I have and can relate to, you're so normal. It's crazy.
When I was doing my research, I found this like hour-long video where Emma talks quite openly and bravely about her anxiety, how it's affected her, especially like growing up. The anxiety that Emma describes, it's really, really intense. Anxiety is something that's super separate from your personality type. Like every personality type can be really, really anxious. But thinking about this from a personality type perspective, Emma's anxiety plus her introverted intuition, it seems like that's sometimes been a really intense, scary combo for her.
I was at a friend's house. I was over at a friend's house, and all of a sudden, I was absolutely convinced the house was on fire and it was burning down. And
I was just sitting in her bedroom, and obviously the house wasn't on fire, but there was nothing in me that didn't think we were going to die. Paranoid about everything, and it got to the point where, if she needed to come help at school, my brother's 2 years younger, I couldn't see her, but I needed to know exactly what the day was gonna be, and she would repeat it over and over to me. And friends at that age, 8-year-olds.
Right.
Aren't really going to understand that, like, oh no, I can't leave the house because if I do, my mom will die.
In quite a few interviews, Emma tells this story about when she was 14. She made this PowerPoint presentation to explain to her parents, to tell her parents that she wanted to move to LA to pursue her dreams, follow her passions, and try to become an actor. And at first I was like, oh, that's cute. That's a cool story. That's definitely sort of like in line with her personality that likes to think ahead, think about the future path. But after hearing about the anxiety thing, how intense and crippling that was for her, it really amazes me that she had that much personal conviction about the acting, that she had the courage to launch herself into the unknown like that.
You have anxiety that clearly is related to separation or about the future, performance, and worry, but yet you don't get the part and you say, okay, I'll go for the next audition. Where does that come from?
Knowing that this was the thing that I loved the most, and that this was where I don't know how that
Purpose.
What happened within me, but it hasn't proven me wrong yet.
Vision.
That this is the whole reason why I want to do what I do. Like something that affects people in that way, or that means something to people.
A really special thing you see with all the NJ personality types is for them, thinking about future impact, potential, thinking about the future in general is something that's incredibly comforting, stabilizing, and compelling. They tend to be quite visionary, wanting to change things, quite inspired. That's one of the most special, potent parts of their personality. It's so cool thinking about how at 14, Emma had vision. This intuition about where things could be headed, and clarity, conviction about what she likes and what future impact she could have. The same introverted intuition that in other contexts made her anxiety so much worse was really, really crippling and scary. Here, do you see how it's actually being used to step up to the plate, push towards scary, uncomfortable things? How it's totally a personality superpower.
If you don't let it cripple you and you use it for something positive or productive, it's like a superpower. With improv, when I learned that I could take all these big feelings and just really listen in the moment and use all of my associative brain that wakes me up still in the middle of the night going, I said this and this, and they're gonna think this and I have to call them in the morning. If I don't, the thing that still haunts me to this day is useful in my job. And
that's cool.
And I'm so grateful for it.
From the personality patterns that showed up over and over again watching Emma Stone, strong extroverted feeling with some introverted intuition, extroverted sensing, and some introverted thinking in there, the fingerprint match that makes the most sense to me for Emma Stone is that she's an ENFJ personality type. Right now, if you guys want to see a bonus video of me reacting to Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone together, their personality types together, what's interesting about their dynamic, there's a bonus video waiting for you right now on Patreon, link down below in the description. My next video coming up is on Robert Pattinson, so subscribe if you haven't yet already. You are the change maker of your own life. Let's think more deeply. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, peace. Bye.